So hi, if you've played sports or if you follow sports at all, you would know that the main day of which they compete or in which you compete is quite important, but there are other days that are almost as important as it. And it is the days when you train, it is the days when you build up your strength, when you build up your speed, when you learn how to pass better, when you learn how to dribble better, and then on the main day you show what you've been training for, you show what you've been practicing. All the days of hard work, you would finally get to pay it off, you finally get to pay off, you finally show all the skills you've been working on. And there's a famous saying that, I think it was I won't say Michael Jackson, I think it was Muhammad Ali that said that. I have actually forgotten. But it goes like this, I do not fear a man who has trained 10,000 kicks one time. I fear a man who has trained one kick 1,000 times, or is it punches? You shall get the gist, On the main day, like when it really matters, it is what you have practiced for a very long time that would matter in the end. It's what you have practiced over and over and over and over and over again until the very end, like until the day finally matters. And it's the same thing with sport like football, Someone who can do a lot of skills off the ball doesn't necessarily mean they'll be able to do those skills that day or the day they'll actually need to do in the match. It is the skill they had honed and that they have worked on multiple times and worked on over and over and over and over again that they would finally use when the time comes here. Why did I give these examples? Why did I say all these things? It's just to bring us to this point. As Christians, we sometimes get into this false sense of security. We sometimes become complacent, especially when we have been praying to God for a blessing or praying to God, for a blessing, and then since we know that God will give it to us, or we are trusting God and we have faith that God will give this blessing to us, we sometimes become complacent, we sometimes we just go, in the current skill that we are in. We don't try to better that skill. You are praying for a particular job, but you are not trying to increase your skill level to match that particular job. Or you are praying for a relationship, but you're a terrible human to your friends. How would you be a good person in the relationship? You are praying for God to give you nations, or for God to give you ministries, for you to preach, to people, and to give you a platform for you to preach to people, but you have never preached to the person in your neighborhood. You want to have debates with top atheists across the world, but you have never had debates with the friends around you, with the people around you. You have to start small to go big. You have to train over and over and over again on those tiny things before God will give you the big things. Those who are faithful in little will be faithful in much, and those who are unfaithful in little will be unfaithful in much. And this is a principle that has been everywhere in the Bible. We look at Daniel 1, I think verse 3 and 4, when the king told them to separate the children, one of the criteria he gave were children that were versed in multiple languages. I know if you are versed in multiple languages, you were not born with it, you were trained in it. And if you read throughout the book of Daniel, that even though the hands of God were on Daniel, he did work for what he had. He did strive, what's the past tense of strive? He strived, as most likely it's I'm saying true. He strived for what he got. He worked hard, he was disciplined, and then God blessed him. God elevated everything he had. And if you look at Paul too, the person that wrote most of the New Testament, the person that killed Christians and all the fun things If you look at Paul, the reason why Paul was able to write all the letters and to be as eloquent as he did when he debated, or talk to as much people as he did, that in as much as the hands of God were on him and God had called him here. Before Paul became a Christian, he was like extremely intelligible. He studied under one of the best teachers of his time. There was a time in the New Testament where he was even bragging about how intelligible he was. This was something that God bestowed upon him. God bestowed upon him. But something like he was born with it, like he was born and then he was the best scribe there was, he was the smartest person around. No, he had to work for it. And it's the same thing with everybody. Even if you look at Joseph during the famine, Yeah, they had to prepare for the times when there was no famine. There has to be a preparation before the main day. Before you get your blessing, you have to prepare for the blessing. Unless when you get that blessing, when you get the job you've been praying for, you will lose the job in 2 weeks. When you get the relationship you've been praying for, the relationship you've been praying for, you would lose the person in 2 weeks. You have to always work hard. You have to always work to get to what you are, the blessings you have been praying for, to what you have been waiting on God for. You have to strive hard to get there. Yeah, it's like a soldier that is preparing for war. The soldier that's preparing for war, he even if there is no war, even if there is no sign of war in any way, if you're in the military, you would always be training, you would always be preparing for war, you would always be fighting, you would always be having mock battles with your friends, with your comrades. With your comrades, with your mates, you would always have training drills every time to keep your senses sharp. And it's the same thing when you are waiting for a blessing, when you are waiting on God, you are waiting for that job, and you know that your skills are not up to par, are not up to the job, and that is fine, God sometimes grants us blessings, grants us jobs that we're not qualified for, but you have to work hard to be on that level, because even if God eventually gives you that job or eventually grant that job, if you do not have the capacity to grow, you would lose that job in 2 weeks, like I said before. So while you are waiting on the blessing, while you are waiting on God's sovereign kindness to grant you a blessing or to grant you something you have been praying for the longest of time, also don't become complacent. Strive to get to the level at which that blessing would work well. To the point where you can manage the blessing, if that makes sense. Don't be trying to get a job that would require you to work at 110% and you are currently working at 40%. Push for what you think would be the ideal standard for the blessing you are attaining or you want to attain. You have to always push for it. You have to always work hard and push to be great at what you do, to be the best at what you do. No matter what it is, you have to always try to be the best at what you do while you are waiting on God, of course. You have to push and you have to, with the help of the Holy Spirit, work hard and get better at what you do. I'll see you again next week, possibly. Peace.